Good morning, guys. It is Monday, and I thought it would be a great time to talk about step one. Keith used to always tell me that, we can screw up every step of the 12 steps. We can screw up every step except for the first one. We can't fuck up that first one, is what he used to always tell me. And I wish you guys could have met Keith. He was just such a great guy. But step one, of course, is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives become unmanageable. What did that mean? Well, that meant that I couldn't drink like other people. Keep in mind when the big book was written, late 30s, 1930s, Dr. Silkworth gave his opinion in what became affectionately known as the doctor's opinion. And on page XXVI, or 26, they summarize what Silkworth is saying. They say the body of the alcoholic is quite as abnormal as his mind. Well, wait a minute, the body and the mind, those are two different things, right? And then later in that same paragraph, at the end of the same paragraph, it says, in our belief, any picture of the alcoholic which leaves out this physical factor is incomplete. Well, so wait a minute, we're talking about the body and the mind. How do those two tie together? It goes on, XXVIII 28. It says, the very first paragraph, the full paragraph, the action of the alcohol on these chronic alcoholics is a manifestation of an allergy. That phenomenon of craving is limited to this class and never occurs in the average temperate drinker, which means, my friends that I would be at ball games with, they could drink. And they didn't have the same thing happen to them that it would happen to me. And that's what this part of the book explains, is there's two things going on. There's the physical allergy and then the mental obsession. And the physical allergy would lead to the mental obsession. And how that works is, I got my cup of coffee here, right? So I would take a drink, and the one drink is what would trigger the allergy. And the physical manifestation of that allergy was something in my brain going, I gotta have more. I can't stop at just one. And so for me, I had spent years arguing with my wife and my kids, with everybody who knew me. I didn't have a drinking problem. I had a management problem, right? My problem was being able to slap myself on the hand every time I reached for that bottle. I used to say that. And I spent years trying to make that argument, trying to make that case that I had a management problem. Well, fortunately, by the time I came into the rooms this time around, in July of 21, I had zero self-esteem, zero self-worth. I was depressed, suicidal. I had nothing else to lose. And I had even given up. I even stopped trying to have that argument. Even in my own mind, I'd quit trying to have that argument that I had a discipline problem. I had a management problem. I stopped arguing. And that day that I stopped arguing with myself, that day that I admitted defeat of that argument, I stopped trying to argue with my wife about it, stopped trying to argue with my kids about it. I stopped trying to convince everybody, including me, that I didn't have a drinking problem, I had a management problem. When I gave that argument up and I admitted that argument is dead, I lost that argument, and I'm okay with losing that argument. That was the day things started happening for me. It's fascinating to me that in the late 30s, Silkworth was able to kind of tie these two together, the physical allergy. So if I'm allergic to, say, fish, and I eat fish, and next thing you know, when I eat the fish, I balloon up, I swell up, my throat closes off, and somebody has to hit me with an EpiPen, right? So the swelling, the redness that occurs, those are all physical manifestations of the allergy. I have the allergy. I can recover from the allergic reaction, right? But the allergy never goes away. I still can't eat fish. Just because somebody hits me with an EpiPen doesn't mean I can go back out and eat tilapia or halibut or whatever. I can't eat fish. I can't eat seafood, right? I can. I'm just using this as an example. So, and so the same thing is true with alcohol. I can't take that first drink without it triggering the allergy. And the allergy for me is the mental obsession, the craving of that next drink and the next drink and the next drink. The guy that makes the rational decision in my brain that says, oh, you can have just one drink. Well, when I take that one drink, now that guy's gone. There's another guy sitting there going, oh, now you can have, oh, sure, you can have another drink. And I take that second drink. Well, now that guy's gone too. There's a third guy, and that one drink, that first drink is the one that triggers the allergy, that triggers the obsession of the mind. And, on page 24, in chapter 2, there is a solution. Page 24, I love this paragraph. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink. Meaning, we just can't take that first drink. If you're a drug user, you just can't take that first hit, right? We've lost the power of choice. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. I have a lot of willpower when it comes to certain things, but alcoholism, taking a drink, I have none. Zero. And I've learned that the hard way. We are unable at certain times to bring into our consciousness with sufficient force the memory of suffering and humiliation of even a week or a month ago. We are without defense against the first drink. And that's what it means to be powerless over alcohol. Quit trying to argue with yourself that you don't have a drinking problem, you just have a management problem. I made that argument for years, and guess what? I lost, and I was okay losing that argument in July of 21, because when I gave up fighting, trying to debate that argument, I'd proven to myself time and time again that I couldn't win that argument. And when I gave up in July of 21, that's when things start happening for me. So I encourage you guys, every day you wake up, we have to take that first step, and that's the only step we cannot screw up. As Keith used to always say, we cannot screw up that first step. So I encourage you guys, stay in that habit day after day after day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. You can't change yesterday, and we don't know what the hell is going to happen tomorrow, but we do have today. And today, as I shared yesterday, today your only goal should be getting to the end of the day and putting your head down on a pillow, taking a sober breath, a clean breath. And that's what I want to leave you guys with today. So I love you guys. I hope you guys have a kick-ass day. And remember, guys, you cannot get drunk if you don't take that first drink.